What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Yamcast. Today is episode 44. I don't even have to ask you that because I know it's episode 44. I'm getting better at this, ladies and gentlemen. Today we've got some fun news from Ducati. It looks like they're working on putting some different kind of goop to run their motorcycles inside their gas tanks. We've also got some news from, I forgot the other one.
MV Agusta, and then we have a little bit of news from the MotoGP world. I have it called MotoGP is Evil? I'm
going to find out what that is. I think it has to do with the new track they're building. Then, of course, we're doing our call-in section. Did we set a theme for that one this week?
We do not have a theme this week.
Well, it looks like we're doing another variety show for the call-in, really flying by the hip here on this Yamcast. And then we've got a meme contest for this week. I am on the chopping block once again. I think it's the meme of me running away from something, right?
Yeah, from the line of superbikes that we had the other week.
Beautiful. It's going to be a good one. Stick around. Let's have some fun. Alrighty, Spite. What bit of news would you like to begin with?
So I think that we should start, once I get into picture-in-picture mode here, with our new MV Agusta Turismo Veloce 800, which I have dubbed the Multistrada 2.0. It looks like a very edgy Multistrada.
It does, yeah. It looks like the alt-rock version of the Multistrada or something. It also kind of looks like a Bionicle or something.
Yeah, this is...
It's a lot.
There's a lot of lines and a lot of different colors, and it's...
And it's funny because with MV, you're kind of like, oh yeah, like drop-dead sexy sport bikes, this and that. It's weird to see that design language transferred to like dad bikes, you know?
Yeah.
It feels wrong.
It doesn't quite work. It's just... It's too much. It's too much. But so this is a brand new update to the big adventure bike that they have. They're now putting down almost 110 brake horsepower, which in real ponies is basically 108.
So in my opinion, this is more of a fancy Italian Tiger 900 than a Multistrada. Because if they wanted to do a multi, they would have put the Siri Oro engine into their adventure.
Could you imagine that?
That'd be awesome. That'd be sick.
And then they've included, this is actually kind of cool, they've included a clutch that they've been working on with Recluse.
Oh,
which,
nice.
Basically means that you don't have to pull in the clutch when you're on trails. But
yeah. So for those of you at home who might not know what a Recluse clutch is a device that you put on dirt bikes that allows you to ride along without having to pull in the clutch to select first gear and to get out of first gear from a standstill. It makes riding on trails a lot easier because you're not constantly feathering the clutch, which would be a cool feature for this bike ostensibly because it's meant to be a commuter city bike or something like that. Stop and go becomes quite a breeze if you have a Recluse. You don't see those on street bikes very often at all.
No, it's strange to see, and I don't know why they didn't just go straight to DCT while working with this special
maybe they're
clutch
or something, you know, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I guess this is a way to maintain the clutch while also having the ability to not use it at the same time, because you're certainly not taking these wheels on a trail.
No, this is a sport touring offering, in my opinion. However, do they have an adventurer with a 21 setup or something, or is it just a...
I believe it is
17s?
Just this guy right here. So they do not have this with the big front wheel, I don't think.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, at 110-ish horsepower, that's a pretty good number for a street commuter.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
I feel like that would work super well as a street commute bike. Also as a triple, too.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love because it just has a nice amount of torque.
And it looks pretty fancy. I mean, it's
still an MV, you know?
Yeah. They still have this super angry, fancy Gixxer headlight.
Yeah. Cycle through those photos a little bit for me, and then maybe we can see some other angles of it.
So this is that special clutch, which it's coming with the clear clutch cover from the factory.
Beautiful.
You love to see that.
Yeah.
And you can see the MV logo stamped onto the pressure plate.
Yeah.
Which that's class right there. It going around a corner. It by a mountain.
Oh, well, the thing I like here is it's got the triple exit exhaust like the other 3-cylinder offerings from MV, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. And it going down the road. This is a better look for it, honestly.
Yeah,
this muted colorway.
I like that a lot, actually, over the red, white, and and black colorway we recently saw.
That's just too much.
Yeah, this looks really cool, actually. This looks much more MV, but much more, normal.
It looks like it almost reminiscent of the FZ1 more so than the Tiger 800 or 900, to be honest. It looks like a upright naked bike with a half fairing situation going on.
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of a bike that you don't see around all that often anymore.
No, that type of bike is kind of going the way of the dinosaur in a lot of ways.
Yep.
I feel like the Ninja 1000 is kind of still like that.
Yeah.
Was it the 1000 SX, I think?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which that one's still fully faired. This is kind of like semi-faired. I do think they make a Versus 1000, which this would be
maybe
the
this kind of
equivalent of.
competes. But that begs the question: who do you think is looking for this MV Sport Touring offering?
No one.
That's my thing. I feel like MV is for the diehard, Italian exotica lover, sport bike lover. Who don't really know who's gonna go after this because it's a little too wannabe sexy for a commuter bike, right?
Yeah, it's a little loud and ostentatious.
Yeah,
and I love how in every single MV photo you get from MV Agusta, the bike's always on a rear stand.
Yeah, just
to show off
that.
The single-sided swing arm,
and it looks awesome. But if you cover the rest of the bike and you just look at the exhausts and the rear wheel, you're like, oh. Yeah, like that's a sick, sport bike. And then you look at the rest of it, you're like, oh, wait, what the hell? What went wrong here?
Yeah.
So it's a little weird. It's a little, like two worlds meeting.
More options. That more is better, I suppose.
I guess.
But, I guess they only make the Super Veloce on Friday or something like that.
I think so,
So this is probably, they're going to crank this out on Monday morning.
Yeah.
First thing Monday morning, they're going to make the Turismo Veloce 800.
Yeah. And I think it makes sense for MV getting into this category because, this is really where the money is in the market. Sport bikes don't make that much money. Not that many people care about them. But these kind of commuter-based bikes, especially in Europe, people love these things, man. Mm-hmm. They sell really, really well.
And I think it's nice that it's not quite full-blown adventure bike.
Yeah.
That it's more sport touring, more commuter oriented.
Yeah, and it's not pretending to be some enduro thing like the Multistrada.
Yeah, it's not super dad bike. Yeah. So who knows? I'd sure like to ride one just to see how it is.
Yeah, I would too. Why not? Maybe we can get our MV guy over in Miami to send us one, or maybe we'll go out there and check it out. Anyways, speaking of Italian bikes, we do have Ducati news, don't we?
Yes. Okay.
And you are very interested in this. You spent like an hour talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
So why don't you lead us off here?
This is really cool. So Ducati is looking carefully at synthetic fuels for future models ahead of electrification. So they were talking to, I'm probably going to butcher it, but Francesco Malizia, whatever that is. He is their VP of sales, and they're talking about how will Ducati make an electric bike? Yes. And somewhere down here, are they going to make one soon? No. Very clear. They're not going to make an electric bike soon. But what they are doing is they're looking at these projects that Porsche is putting together at making synthetic fuels. And so I was doing a lot of research because I didn't know what a Synth-Fuel would look like. And it turns out that it's basically natural gas. They're going to burn methane.
Yeah.
Which I think causes a whole lot of problems because as I was digging into it, methane is only a liquid at negative 168 degrees Celsius or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is real cold.
That's extraordinarily cold. That's not going to work.
So, it's to have liquid gas on board would be tough. But this is a really cool step, especially when people are afraid, e-bikes are going to take away my gas burner.
Yeah.
Because if you can convert a gas-burning engine into one that's burning the synth fuel, they're about as carbon neutral as an electric bike is, they're claiming.
Yeah, and that would be great for the environment and great for everything else, but I think the technical challenges are very extreme for this type of configuration, right?
Mm-hmm. Because there's two ways you could carry that gas around on a motorcycle as far as I understand it. You have a ridiculously cold vessel that basically can have this gas at 168 below 0 Celsius, or you put it under such extreme pressure that it changes the partial pressure of the gas and keeps it in liquid form. So you either have a massive high-pressure vessel between your nuts, or you're sitting on top of a literal freezer.
Yeah, it would have to be the pressure system because there's no way to keep it at that cold temperature.
Yeah.
But then it begs the question, how do you keep that liquid at such a crazy pressure, right? Mm-hmm. I have no idea. I'm not a physicist. I'm not a chemist. I don't know how you would do that or go about doing that. But I think it's interesting that Ducati's saying that they're not going to produce an electric bike soon because Triumph has come out and said, no, we're making an electric bike like ASAP.
Yeah, the TE1 that we talked about the other day.
Yeah, so it's interesting seeing these companies being like, we're taking very different strategies going forward. But honestly, it makes sense that Triumph will go electric before Ducati. Mm-hmm. I think Ducati is like super purist. I mean, they went liquid cooled in like I think the 90s or something, right? Or the early 2000s.
And everybody was already beyond that.
Yeah.
And they only switched to a 4-cylinder superbike in 2017 for the street. They were like, no, we're going to do twins. And it's like, okay, you're going to keep losing. I mean, props where it's due. I mean, they stick to their guns. But this is really cool because, I was looking at the chemistry of how this happens and how they make these synth fuels. And it's really interesting to me how all this happens. And I'm really excited by it in a way that I didn't think I would be by an electric motorcycle. Because the electric motorcycle, it's just like you plug it in and, okay, fine. Yeah. But this, you have some crazy chemistry going on, and you can preserve gas burners at the same time. So, I mean, that seems like a win-win.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just so cool. It's so cool, and I'm glad that we finally have a motorcycle company that's looking at a alternative to electric motorcycles that isn't just choking up motorcycles with more and more emissions controls.
Yeah, because we're getting to the point, I think, probably in the next 5 years, like the emissions controls are, and it's good for the environment, I get it, but like the controls are getting so extreme that it's like you keep having to make the engines bigger and bigger and bigger because it's the only way to keep making the same powers that the older ones did, you know? So that's just kind of a bummer in my opinion.
The Ouroboros is eating its tail already. I mean, it's we're going to just have bigger engines, and then they're going to get smaller, and then we're going to get bigger, and then they're going to get smaller.
Yeah.
So this is a cool piece of news. Just it got me very excited.
Yeah, it's cool to see Ducati trying and thinking of new things. But again, guys, gas-powered vehicles are not going away anytime soon, so don't worry.
Yeah, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, but we have a spicy bit of last news here, and it's with the Indonesian track for MotoGP and everyone else, right?
So Dorna and FIM are working with Indonesia's tourism board, I guess, to build this racetrack in Indonesia because it's such a massive market. Yes. For MotoGP and WSBK.
Yeah, so in case you guys didn't know, Indonesia, I believe, is the #1 country in the world for like fans of MotoGP. And you can actually see this if you look at MotoGP's Instagram account. If you click on the comments for any post, there's so many Indonesian fans. They have a rabid love of motorcycles in that country. So it makes sense that they're like, no, let's build a racetrack here because we can sell out this venue like nobody's business, you know? Mm-hmm. But it appears that there's having problems with human rights and labor laws there.
Yes.
That's so not good.
They're, the United Nations, which is, the watchdog that usually is the first to cry foul on this sort of thing, has said that they're forcing evictions, improper compensation for seized land, and other human rights violations, which...
This is just sounding like Qatar all over again, really.
Yes, which...
I don't want to say anything because, it's kind of touchy, but the Qatar racetrack was basically built on slave labor. It's not good.
And that's why it kind of sucks to, cultures are different and so forth, but it was rough to see the riders like going up and thanking the PM or whatever.
That was weird.
At Qatar. It felt really strange to me.
No other venue does that.
Yeah, it'd be like if the riders had to come here to the States and they had to shake the president's hand.
Yeah, Joe Biden's down there and they're like, Joe Biden, thank you for letting us race here. Thank you, Joe Biden. Like, what?
Yeah,
he's busy. He's got something else to do.
It felt really weird to see that. And again, cultures are all different. It's important there. I get it, but it just.
But human rights violations are human rights violations.
Yeah,
so that transcends cultures.
And so this is rough to see, but it kind of feels like motorsport and these sort of tough, touchy subjects kind of butt heads constantly.
Yeah. Because you got to remember, motorsports is such a capital-intensive thing to do, especially to build a brand new racetrack that probably isn't going to be profit positive until like 15 years down the road or something, and is always so touchy to keep it running. Like Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, for example, with COVID last year and into this year as well. I mean, they were on the brink of bankruptcy. They're on the brink of being like, hey, we might have to sell this place to someone else because this is ridiculous.
They're bringing NASCAR to COTA for some reason, which I want to go to just see.
I didn't know those cars could turn right. I thought the wheels only went this way.
But it's unfortunate that these kind of seem to be hand in hand.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Is it worth it? No, probably not.
Probably not. And what I find funny is that they're building a brand new racetrack when there are so many tracks that are sort of readily available, in my opinion. You know, not to toot our own horn, but I do feel like here in the States we have
Laguna Seca.
We have Laguna Seca. We have Indianapolis, which used to be a good venue. We have Circuit of the Americas. I feel like instead of building a new racetrack, there was probably some other racetrack in the world that wasn't in Europe that we probably could have gone to instead of Indonesia. But again, Indonesia is such a motorcycle crazy market that it did make sense. But doesn't Indonesia have another racetrack that they could have gone to?
Oh, I'm going to show my ignorance here, but
isn't
Sepang
That's in Malaysia?
Malaysia, yeah. I got to imagine they do.
They must. I feel like they used to race in Indonesia at some point. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. The question now is, like, you know, where do we go from here with these accusations and this kind of criticism from the UN? Like, I think personally it puts a really bad rap for motorsports, honestly.
Yes.
It shows that it's like, oh, like this is a bunch of rich people with like pulling the strings, and you know they're making these guys ride really fast in this dangerous way, because that's another thing that motorsports has to contend with as well. It's like the super dangerous thing that we're doing, and we're building these tracks and trampling over people's rights and all that. So it really does put a bit of a stain on this thing that we all love. You know?
It kind of feels like this is not the look they need, especially when they're trying to, you know, they're dealing with the fallout of how dangerous stuff was last year at Red Bull Ring. I mean, that crash is seared in everybody's brain.
Yeah.
And then the week after, Maverick hit the wall at 200.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. So
I hate to say it, but in my brain, every time I think of that clip of Mav just jumping off the bike, I play the little Mario theme. It's like dun, 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 dun. It like literally is like some Mario Kart shit of just like ejecting off the bike. God, can you imagine like you're coming in hot on the corner and you're like, oh, I have no brakes. I just have to jump off.
Yep, it's either jump or get splattered.
Yeah. God, those guys are nuts. And then he goes back out and just goes and races same day. Like nuts. Those guys are crazy. But well, I guess we'll kind of keep an eye on what's happening in Indonesia. I was really stoked to see this track, and I've been actually following its development and its build out on social media. But now it doesn't really feel quite right to keep in touch with it. And you know, I hope that things are looking better over there, but I don't think they are.
I feel like Dorna needs to step back and stop double booking venues like Losail and Indonesia.
Yeah,
especially if they're gonna try and if they want to try and make a profit where they're clearly being said this is bad by the United Nations.
Yeah,
that's not good.
Yeah, because you want to make sure the organization looks good on the whole, and for the world, and for racing.
Yep.
But you know, these things can happen in countries that aren't as tight with labor laws and human rights laws and that kind of stuff. But anyways, we're going to move on here on the Yamcast, move on to the call-in portion of our podcast, so stay tuned. Alright, everyone, welcome to the call-in portion of our podcast. If you want the chance to call us in, you got to join over on yammynoob.co. We do these Yamcasts live for our Discord members. We're chatting with them right now, and you can have the opportunity to call us in and ask us a question and be immortalized in Yamcast glory. Mr. Spite, if you would please let everyone know on Discord that they can right-click your name on mobile and give us a call because we're ready to go. Taking calls today is no theme. It is a variety show. Once again, whatever you want to talk about, we are going to talk about it.
It's probably just going to be how
it's going to be about the methane gas
would work.
Welcome to the Yamcast 25-minute section on methane gas. Cows produce it. Did you know that? It is an environmental impact. You can apparently pressurize it, and then it's perfectly fine.
Here we go. Here comes our first one. I am Log.
Hey there, I am Log. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
I'm doing good. How about yourselves?
Good. What can we do for you?
So luckily I'm not going to be calling about methane. I do have kind of two quick things. One of which is, Spite, I hope you know that your DRZ is crying out in help and just letting it die.
Hey, I gotta let it sit for a minute while I wait for the parts to come in. Yeah. It's going to get fixed, I promise.
It looks... You know what? I'm having deja vu because around this time last year, there was a crusty right DRZ sitting right there in the shop.
Same time of the year.
Again.
It's just every year it's going to come right back into the shop.
It wants to die, and we're all feeling sorry for it because it has to keep getting brought back to life.
And now there's a sexy new WR in the shop, too, showing it up.
But like Shade Tree says, what is dead may never die.
But then my second question is... So around here in kind of the northern area, I live in Wisconsin. I'm seeing a lot of the early generation of the phaser bikes, the FZ6 and FZ1s. And I was wondering what you guys have on that. I don't know if you have anything sort of problem-wise or what to look at for mileage, because a lot of them are high in mileage, but a lot of them have been turned into sort of touring bikes. A lot of them have saddlebags.
Yeah, so we actually featured the FZ6 on our So You Want to Buy a $2,500 Bike video. Yeah, and those are pretty common to have high mileage, and it's, in my opinion, totally fine because, like you said, a lot of them are going to be used in that sport touring kind of way, and they're not being abused and wrung out to red line, and typically can be used in that much more friendly kind of way. The FC1s are a little bit more of a pain in the ass because I'm pretty sure those are 5-valve engines. Is that right, Spite?
Yes, they were the 5-valve 2009, like the pre-crossplane R1
Yeah, those
engine.
are a 5-valve engine. So that's kind of a pain in the ass to go get all those valves checked. You're talking 20 valve checks, which is ridiculous. But beyond that, they're pretty bulletproof.
Mm-hmm.
I know plenty of folks who've had FZ1s and just love them, and they just work for a long time. So I don't know anything off the top of my head if they don't work right. Spike, do you know anything?
No, I mean, that's why I mentioned the FZ1 in my greatest bikes. I had a video about naked bikes recently where the FZ1 was in there. The FZ6 is basically just a little FZ1.
Mm-hmm.
They're just bulletproof inline 4 Japanese bikes that aren't super stressed out from the mid-2000s. They're perfect, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know what, for some reason, but whenever I look at an FZ6, I get a lot of the, the 2004 to I think 9, I think it was the run of those. And then for some reason the same bike, but the FZ6R, but a more fully fared option.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that they're lower horsepower, so I don't know what the difference between those is. Why that happened, or if it's just similar bike, just retuned.
I'm not sure. It's probably just a slightly retuned engine for a little bit more power, but I can't think off the top of my head what the difference between the FZ6 and the FZ6R would be.
If I'm not mistaken, that was when Yamaha had the YZF R6 and the
YZF 600R,
yeah,
the Thundercat or whatever,
something like that. Yeah,
I think that was late 90s though for the Thundercat, because I know they sold those two at the same time, which
was really confusing,
really stupid, but
but it's something along those lines where it's basically like the SV650 half fare versus full fare, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, and actually, for some reason, they discontinued the FZ6 model because I actually did a little bit of research into it, and then they went into the FZ6R, retuned it to make less power.
Maybe for more reliability or something like that, or just like a more sport touring kind of thing.
Maybe it made more torque because the R6 makes dick all for torque.
Literally.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe if it's because around that 2009 area, they retuned it for mainly the competition with the SV650, maybe?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
I mean, the SV650 still existed in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it did. But Yamaha didn't have a bike that competed against it except the FZ6, really.
Mm-hmm.
But, all right, well, that's the mainly two questions I'm leaving out the FZ8 because I've heard that's just a ridiculous bike that no one should ever buy because it's basically an MT-09, but...
Yes. Yeah, that was a different beast of a bike altogether. Yeah.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah. All right, man. Best of luck. Bye.
Thanks. See ya.
Hamraz BB, what can we do for you today?
Hey, what's going on? Since y'all are in Austin, do you know if you're doing the GP race there this year?
We are not. Sadly, it has been postponed due to COVID. But I hope that it's still on the tentative calendar, right?
It looked like it was, so I was wondering.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like they were waiting to see what the COVID situation was going to be like here and then probably do it, which honestly, things are looking really great for us here, at least in Travis County in terms of our vaccination rates and stuff. So fingers crossed, but I think they're also looking at all of America for our vaccination rates and stuff, but we are pretty high up there in the world. So I'm fingers crossed that somehow they throw it back in the calendar, but we'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. I was just wondering, because I got the go-ahead that we could go to it this year, and of course, naturally, they wouldn't have it.
Yeah, I personally think that it would be a real coin flip if they did it in like November or something, because that time of year here in Texas, you never know what you're going to get. It could be 45 degrees and rainy, or it could be 80 degrees and sunny.
Yep.
You literally never know.
Gotcha. Okay, that was a simple question. Just was wondering if y'all heard any rumblings about it, if they were deciding to maybe do it.
I think isn't the schedule normally Qatar, Austin, Argentina, or Qatar,
Argentina,
Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So they went...
Yeah, on the schedule, it's like towards the end, they're saying, and it's like possible. Like it's just saying it's tentative, basically.
I think they also have a track in Russia.
Really?
Yeah, that's tentative. If I'm not... I think there's one on...
It's like three races, I feel like, on the calendar like that.
Yeah.
A Russian GP would be interesting.
That's what I thought when I saw it. I was like, that would be bizarre.
Yeah, but that's all we know about the Austin GP, man.
Cool. All right, see ya.
All right, see ya. Hey there, Juan Daddy. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What can we do for you?
So, I know you've done videos on scramblers. Yeah, you got that WR250R now. And I know you guys aren't like really into ADV bikes. I just bought one a few weeks ago, and I was a little skeptical, but I kind of wanted a do-it-all kind of bike because I'm probably only going to be able to have one motorcycle where I'm moving to next. And I bought a 790 Adventure S, and
nice,
man, it is a ton of fun. So, have you guys ever considered doing maybe not like the big ass, like GS 1250 or 1290 Adventures, but maybe like a middleweight segment?
Man, I would love nothing more than to throw in a Tenere 700.
And a Tenere, yeah, I was about to say the Tenere.
I would love to do that, but I just can't get people to care about them on the channel. It's so frustrating. Like, we'll do videos about dual sports, adventure bikes, and people they're just like, where are the R6s? Where's the Ninja 400s? Where are the BMW S1000 RRs? It's a real bummer. Spite, you want to add some color to that?
It's just, I mean, after what I did yesterday at the MX Factory, I'm like,
so fun.
Y'all are, if you think that dirt bikes are stupid, you're stupid.
Yeah.
So you really owe it to yourself to go out and get a different kind of motorcycle. And
yeah,
I mean, it would be so cool if we could get the 790 in here or the Tenere in here.
Imagine if we just went balls out. We just did an 890 Adventure.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Just deck it out in all the Rottweiler kit.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah. I got some Rottweiler stuff on mine already, and an AXP skid plate coming, and Yeah, it's just fun. I know, and I know you guys. You got to tailor your videos to your audience somewhat. It is what it is, but it's just. I mean, I just wish people could understand. Yeah, it can't. A bike like that can't do what a dual sport or a straight up dirt bike can do, but you can do a lot of it, and then you can just hop on the road and just haul ass.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it is.
I mean,
for what the bike
is.
You know?
I've seen guys doing things on Tenere 700s that should be impossible. So I feel like it's really down to the rider a lot when it comes to that too. Like, I've done that a lot where, like, I'll be on a middleweight adventure and I'm like, oh, I couldn't possibly tackle that. And then I see a video on someone just, like, climbing up some crazy enduro thing on a Tenere, and I'm like, how the hell did they just do that? So, yeah, it's really about the rider. Just some bikes make it easier.
It's going to take practice on something that heavy, but...
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, yeah, I just wanted to see what your opinion was on that. Hopefully more people get interested, because I'd love to see you guys do a video if you can get a couple.
Hey, man, maybe someday I'll just lose my marbles and I'll just chuck an adventure bike just to see what happens, just because I want to ride one around, but we'll see.
Do it. Awesome.
All right, thanks for calling, man.
You guys have a good one.
See ya. Crisscross Applesauce, you're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Good. What can I do for you?
So I just picked up my a third bike for myself yesterday.
Nice.
I have a problem. I keep getting older bikes. I went from a 2007 to a 2003 to a 96. It's a Bandit 600.
You're going the wrong way. Turn around.
I know. So to update it, I'm wondering what you guys think about doing fork swaps. Like I said, this is my third bike, so I feel pretty confident wrenching, but I'm just curious. Like, I've never known anyone.
And you said it's a Bandit 600?
Yep.
Got to get Josh in here. He's our resident Suzuki boy. Man, I can't think of the top of my head what is going to fit on the Bandit, but I have a feeling that, like, any Gixxer front fork fits on any other Suzuki based on what Josh has told me about them. So I feel like you could probably just swap in like a same year Gixxer 600 front end, or maybe like a little bit later, like a honestly I hate to say it, probably like a K5 you could probably fit in there, something like that. I don't know the fork size, but it could probably work.
Yeah. Okay. It's just like, I've never known anyone to do it, and people do it all the time online on like Cafe Racer builds or whatever, and I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to do necessarily. I just want my 2003. I had a Yamaha Roadstar Warrior, which is like, it's a cruiser with R1 suspension, and that thing was sweet. And for some reason, I decided to trade that for a Bandit 600. So, but yeah, cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you all you got to do have you ever done a fork swap before or no?
I mean, I've been going on like the All Balls Racing website, and you can like look up the diameter of the bearings that you need, right? Is that it?
No, I mean, all you really need to know is the width of the fork, really, and if it's going to fit in your triple trees. And then from there, you just got to get it up on a front stand. Not the type that go on the bottom of the forks, obviously, because you're going to be swapping those out, but the type that have the little pin that fits into the triple tree. And then you just unbolt the triple tree and just slide them out and slide the ones you want in. It's really easy.
All right, cool. I'll try it out, man.
Yeah. Well, best of luck, man.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. See ya. He's going the wrong way. He's going into the past.
Did you know that the guys over at Brock's put a Hayabusa front end on a Harley?
That's awesome.
They put a
I love those guys.
They put a Hayabusa front end on a Harley.
Big shout out to Brock's. Like, you guys are great. I love everything you guys do. Hey there, Stormy Grizzly. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
Good. What can we do for you?
So a little bit of backstory. I called in a while ago. I'm not really sure when, but I was looking to get my first bike. It was a CBR 500R. I think it was right before you guys got it as a beginner bike.
Okay.
But so you guys went ahead. You shit on my dreams. You called it fat.
I'm so sorry.
And so after that, I kind of started doubting a little bit, and then at the time too, like the place I was working at got closed down because of COVID, and so I wasn't really in the financial spot to be able to get a bike. But I got a new job, things got better, whatnot, and so in February, I actually ended up getting a CB 650R after going back and watching all your videos on that, and it's been an absolute dream so far. I got it before I took my MSF course, which was probably a little stupid, but I did that. I passed the MSF course. I haven't got my license yet just because the DMV, my appointment's later in April, but my question was, I was planning on getting into riding at a track. We have one about an hour away from my house, and Do you think the CB650R would be, I guess, appropriate as a track bike? Do you think I should just go ahead and get something like a Ninja 400 or something like that to learn on?
So I think for your very first track day, just take the bike you have and take what you got and go run with it. One of my other employees here, Whitney, but after you've seen the videos, she took her like BMW R19 with squared off tires to one of her first track days here, and she just made it work. And go and see if you like it before you get another bike to do it with. I actually have a video I put out. I'm pretty sure I did a CB650R track day video. Did you watch that one?
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons why I decided to pick up the CB, because I do eventually want to take that to the track. It's just, I'm not really sure if I want to have a bike where I use for street and track, or if I want to have one for each purpose. But I think I'll definitely probably take the CB to the track first, just to see if I actually enjoy riding on the track. Because, there's sometimes where you try something out that you think, oh, this is going to be great, and then it just kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely happens. I mean, Spite, I think that kind of happened to you, where you went on the track and you were like, well, this isn't really what I'm looking for. And then you did dirt bike stuff. You're like, oh, this is awesome, So it could depend,
I mean, the thing for me about track riding is it's very much about learning the course, and you develop your skills, obviously, but eventually it feels to me like you will get bored of a single track, and you need to have that variety of going from H2R to Eagles Canyon to Crescent to MSRH and all that stuff. It add a little bit of variety, because otherwise you're just turning laps at the same place, and it's just like, okay, fun, fine, but there's something more free flowing and a little bit more adventurous and I don't know, just more open and fun about being in the dirt.
Yeah. See, I disagree. I love track day stuff, and I feel like, finding your limits and pushing the absolute bejesus out of your motorcycle just feels awesome and feels like you have total control over the machine. I just love that feeling of it. But, take the CB to a track day, man. I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you say, because that's one thing. I love the bike, but obviously, it has enough power to where you can't really do all too much with it without breaking the laws. So
yeah,
and I'm not a very dangerous kind of rider. I don't like really speeding or anything. But I really thank you guys for your opinion. I think I'm gonna probably just take the CV to the track, see how it goes, and then probably after that call you back and see if I should get a Ninja.
And then get your license, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I passed. I passed my MSF, my DMV appointment to get my endorsement.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's next week, and so I talked to my MSF instructor, and he said I have a little card that they gave me for completing it. And he said for the most part, cops should, if I get pulled over, they should be okay with it as long as I have my appointment confirmation and whatnot. But
yeah, you'll be fine.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah. Well, best of luck, man. Thanks.
Sure. Have a good one.
Bye. Mr. Bad Assler, you are on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Gentlemen, hello.
What can we do for you today? Are we talking dirt bikes? Are we talking KTM 350? Are we talking methane? What are we doing?
The first two.
Okay.
So, a quick story and then a question. So, my dad and I recently rebuilt an old 98 DR350.
Awesome.
And he kind of putted around the trails with me a little bit on that. And we swapped bikes a couple times, and he was like, okay, I got to get something better. Because he hopped up my KTM and realized the DR was a piece of garbage. So I kind of watched Craigslist for a couple weeks, and we ended up finding a 350 XCF that was pretty close, a 2018 low hours. Like, it was a really nice deal, and he ended up picking that up. So we went riding some more, and we swapped bikes after a bit, and now I'm kind of in love with the 350. But my problem is that I've got so much like work and customization into the 250 that I'm like, if I really want to start over again, like custom suspension and all the different like sparkles and mods that I put on the thing to just make it more comfortable for dirt riding for me. So I guess I'm curious, like, have you guys ever like just had so much invested into a bike, particularly for you, that you've kind of like not wanted to move on from it?
Yes. My Daytona has been the thorn in my side since I basically bought it. Yeah, like the whole bike is literally set up for me as a rider, and every other weekend that I have with it, I'm like, why don't I just get a ZX6 and just make my life easier? But I love the bike and I can't get rid of it, and I've told everyone that I'm only going to get rid of it if I completely blow it up and it dies a horrible fiery death. Otherwise, I'm going to keep running it because it just works. But yeah, that's my story with it. But I'm of the opinion that like you just keep the bike you have and work with what you have, other than just going and swapping for another bike, unless you really feel like it's going to make a big difference. Spy, what do you think?
I don't know. I just feel like you run what you got until what you got doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Basically, it's, you could run out and upgrade, but is it really going to make a difference? I don't know. It might for you.
He's after them sweet torques, though.
Yeah.
He wants that 350 torque.
Just get yourself a different sprocket setup, man.
Yeah. It power wheelies so much easier.
I know. That's the important things. Yeah, man. You're making me want a 350 now. I shouldn't do that.
They're out there.
We got the WR. It's fine. Everything's fine.
They're out there on the used market. Good deals.
I know. Do you like that 350?
Oh, it's so much fun. And it's so like the EXCF, the dual sport that I have, is a bit like, I won't say muted, but they've kind of like tamed it a little bit for the road.
Yeah.
He's got just the pure dirt bike version in the 350, and oh man, it's so much more fire breathing. The throttle is so much more aggressive. Like, it's fun.
Yeah. What's interesting is I've actually taken my KTM 250 motocross bike, the 4-stroke one that I have, out to some trails, and I felt like it was so kind of hopped up and crazy that it was harder to ride than something like a WR around trails and stuff. At least that was my experience.
He actually felt the same when he first got it, and I kind of recommended a couple things for him to do to it. There's KTM actually has they have interchangeable throttle cams. Like there's a black one that's like the aggressive one, and then there's a gray one which is a little bit more like it lets you it like extends the throttle pull a little bit more, so you're not like immediately going 1 to 100th and like a tiny little flick of the wrist.
Yeah.
And so he did that, and it helped a lot. But there's a whole bunch more stuff you can do if you're trying to like tame it a little bit for trail riding. But yeah, the motocross ones are definitely going to be a handful if you're going out on the trails where slow technical stuff is needed.
Yeah, I just gave up on the slow technical stuff. Now I only go out to motocross with that bike, and I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. This is great.
Yeah, it's what it wants to do.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Anything else we can do for you?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Badass. Thanks so much for calling, man.
Yeah, see.
All right. Later. All right. And last for the night here.
Germinate 2 Boy is not there.
No, we missed him. Germinate 2 Boy, if you're out there, call us again. We're so sorry that we missed you. Hey,
there he is. He's back.
Germinate 2 Boy, you're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hi, guys. It's going great. How about you?
Good. You're here to talk about methane, aren't you?
No. I think I'm good on that one.
Not one person is called in to argue with us about methane.
They were so interested in the chat about methane, but I guess now it's all gone. So what can we do for you?
I actually wanted to tell you like a story I did not tell yet about an experience I had with the Versus 300.
Okay.
They make a Versus 300?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Versus
they do.
300.
Oh, interesting.
Sadly, they do. And what happened was I had my bike in for its, I think it was last year. No, it was my bike had just gone over 6,000 kilometers. I had my bike for just over 6,000 kilometers, and it was at that time Kawi wanted a 6,000 kilometer inspection on that bike. Nobody knows why, but I got a loaner from them for the time the bike is there, and I got a Versus 300, and it was an experience.
The best bike you ever rode. Yeah?
Oh, it was terrible. Like, wow. I mean, sure, it has like nearly 10 HP less than the 400, but wow, the bike just felt. I just felt so slow, and it was just so boring because it was all soft and springy and strange.
It's meant for good boys.
Yeah, it's a good boy bike.
You're meant to just sit there and putter along in the right lane and just go slow.
Yeah.
It's
and the part about the Versus 300 that pisses me off too is like it's not even a good like sport touring bike either, because at least sport touring bikes have a little bit of balls, and they can actually get up and go. No. It doesn't even have that, so I'm not even really sure what that bike's supposed to be.
It's just cheap cash grab Ninja 300 engine in a Versus.
Yeah.
Like you have to get it over like around 6,000-7,000 RPM for it to actually pull a bit. And you sit there on this touring semi-adventure dad bike and just ring the engine out, and it doesn't even sound right. It's just strange.
Yeah, this is why the Ninja 400 was such a great thing when it came out, because it really was such a better bike than the Ninja 300, which was really cool. I like the 400 so much more than the Ninja 300.
It's such a different engine. Like it's not just 100 cc's more. It's just all over the board so much better.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I actually just thought of you because we did that R6 video today. Yeah, can't wait till you ride that ZX6, man. You're gonna feel the real power, the real good stuff.
I'm hyped to infinity.
Yeah, that's gonna be some good stuff. So I'm sorry you had to ride the Versus 300 German A2.
Yeah,
that is really sad.
It's okay. I survived it.
Yeah,
and now I'm thankful for the torques of the 400, the mighty torques.
Yes, so many torques on that bike. All right, man. Well, thanks so much for calling. I appreciate it.
No problem, guys.
All right.
See you around. Bye.
Later. All right, everyone. That's going to end it for the call-in portion of our podcast. We're now going to move on to everyone's favorite portion, the meme contest. Let's get into it. And remember, if you're listening to this on the audio-only version on Spotify or your local podcast app, you got to go to YouTube to see the full audio-visual experience. So make sure to go and check that out. All right, everyone, welcome to the meme contest of the week. For this week's memeable moment, we chose myself running away from the hyper naked shootout that we were doing. I figured that would be a great moment to utilize. So it's that clip of me, if you guys saw it in the hyper naked shootout video we did, where I just scream at the camera and then I literally just sprint off into the distance for like a good 10 seconds. And then Spite in the background just goes, "That boy ain't right." So let's see the memes we got for today.
So starting us off, we have Deli, who gave us our first meme, and it's basically a GIF.
Yeah, and what it's like being a Busa boy, and I just sprint off into the distance. So that means I'm just like going super fast? Is that what it is?
I think that's what that means.
Yeah. Okay.
So creativity on this one.
I'm feeling like a 5.
I think a 5 as well.
Yeah.
And funniness?
I think a 4.
A 4.
I would say middle of the bell curve, but I didn't get quite a good chuckle out of it. So
yeah, I feel like we had to work a little bit for it.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Driftin' Fish back at it again this
week. We got 3 of the greatest hyper naked motorcycles on the road today. Which one's best? Let's find out today.
That boy ain't right. Oh, there he goes.
I love the glowing effect.
Who runs like that?
So for you guys out there, I hammed it up on the run, all right? That's not actually how I run. I was literally flailing my arms and legs as much as possible for dramatic effect.
There's actually a meme later on that's... You'll see.
Is it about the run?
It's about the run.
Come on, guys. I wouldn't actually run like that. It's all part of the gag. Who runs like this? Max Aero.
That's like opposite of Max Aero.
Yeah, no, you're just trying to cut through the air as much as possible, deflecting the wind. All right, creativity. I thought that was pretty good. I like the glowing orb and stuff and the clip at the end. How about a 7.5?
A 7.5. And funniness.
Got a good chuckle. How about a 7?
A 7. Next up, we have A1 Aces.
Okay. I'm not sure I understood that one.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure what the little creature was in the lower right-hand corner.
So it was clearly the Jaws theme, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And it was that thing was coming after you and you were running away.
Okay.
I don't
think I quite understood it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to have to that one's going to score a little low.
It's going to score low, yeah.
Creativity?
A 4 or 3 maybe. I didn't quite get what it was going for.
Yeah, I think a 3.
Yeah.
And funniness. That one's...
Well, since we were literally just blank during the whole thing, I think like a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
sorry,
a 4.
A1 Aces.
Next up, we have Shippers.
Is actually good. Number 1, there's some bang and bugs that play.
Wait, o shopping muda sempre que abre fechas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that's how it feels doing just regular lists.
Mm-hmm.
It's like number 3, I'm just tired of this. Yeah. All right.
So, creativity on that one.
Pretty good. How about a 7?
A 7.
Yeah.
And funniness.
I think a 6.
A 6.
Yeah.
That's 13 for Shippers. Next up is Dragon Cowboy.
I do love this meme format. The Giga Chat at the end. Yeah, that was good. That's top tier.
That's a good one right
that's
there.
That's very, very good. Yeah. That's such a good format because it kind of forces people to be a little bit more higher effort with it. You got to really think about the different reaction clips and stuff, and it's really good. I just love how kind of zany it is, and I love the Harley one of the fat guys
yeah, and the when at Royal Enfield riders when you ask them to go fast,
crying. Yeah, that was great. All right, creativity. I think an 8.5. That was pretty good.
An 8.5 too. Yeah. And funniness. That was a good one.
That was pretty funny. 8.5.
8.5.
Yeah.
That's a solid 17, first place. Next up is Stanley 13 with our picture meme
This
here.
is good, honestly. It's simple but effective.
Yes.
The top is just ham. Yeah, Ninja 400 or R3, and it's just me just sprinting as fast as I can.
I like this shot, too, because we shot it in the 24 frames per second.
Yeah.
It's all blurry. I think that's a great frame for this.
That is a good frame. Yeah, it's just like a perfect sprinting action shot.
I think this could be a new meme format.
Honestly, yeah, this is a good motorcycle meme format. We should try to push this on Instagram and try to make it a thing.
Yeah,
should put up as a post on Instagram and be like, turn this into a meme, new format for you. Enjoy.
Yep.
And this is how I feel when someone asks me this question. I'm like, please don't ask me this.
So, creativity here for Stanley 13.
Honestly, pretty good for just a photo.
Yeah.
I think a 7.
A 7. And funniness.
Pretty funny. How about a 6.5?
A 6.5. with much bigger meme potential down the road. So,
absolutely.
Yeah,
so that's
this is
13.5 for his total
basically
score.
making a new meme format.
Yeah, which we will try to put on Instagram, see if we can turn that into a thing.
Yeah, I need to. I'm going to be back in the wrong picture mode. There we go.
Because you put the 1.
Because I put a 1 in there. Okay, next up we have, I believe, German A2 Boy this time, for real.
We got 3 of the greatest hyper-naked motorcycles on the road today. Which one's best? Let's find out today!
Why am I so wide in this shot? I like he squished it down to make me look little. I look so little.
It looks so weird. Especially
it's so odd. I look flat almost. It's so crazy looking. That was a good one. That was beautiful.
So is that you're scared to sit on the bike? Scared to ask to sit on the bike?
No, it's you're excited to go sit on the bikes.
So you got to go ask the man.
Like you're 5 years old and your mom says you can go ask the guy to sit on the bikes and you just sprint over to the guy. All right.
So creativity on this one.
Pretty good. How about an 8?
An 8.
Pretty good.
And funniness.
I think that the topic was funny, but the distortion of the video is the funnier part. Just this flat, squished yam just flying off into the distance. I'm not even sure how he did that. I think an 8.5 for funniness. I got a good chuckle out of me.
That's 16.5 second place, but he's definitely on cooldown.
Yes.
Won last week, I believe. Zentarian is next.
He's got to be on
cocaine!
That was such a good shoot.
That was great.
That whole day was awesome. I was hoping someone would put that to Eurobeat, and I'm so happy they did. Literally, you can take Eurobeat and apply it to almost anything, and it's funny instantly.
Yep.
So good. So good.
Oh, that was a good one.
I feel like Zentarian is slowly becoming our master meme maker.
Yeah, we have this just like cadre of master meme makers that are fighting for supremacy constantly. It's great. Yeah. Creativity for that one. I think that one was pretty
solidly
high.
creative. I think a 9.
A 9.
Yeah.
And funniness.
Pretty funny. How about an 8?
An 8.
Yeah. Oh, we have a tie.
Second 17. Now, these guys have a late penalty because I accepted them, but after the entries had closed, so I tacked a -3 on there.
Brutal.
Got to get the memes in before I say, got to read the directions. It's not that hard.
Didn't someone not DM you one of their memes as well?
Yeah, Millennial Malaise. I'm not sure where that one went.
Oh,
so
man,
that's why you got to DM me the meme, guys. If I don't get the meme in my inbox, I don't see that it's there.
Yeah, because it does tend to get cluttered in the massive kind of feed of Discord.
Yep. So next would be J Subs. I'm just making sure that we're in the right screen again.
Rolling.
J Sabs.
Yes, I am a pro athlete. You can clearly tell I ran cross country in high school by that sprint that I did. Obviously.
So creativity for J Sabs here.
That was pretty good. How about a 7?
A 7. And funniness.
I feel like a 7 as well.
I was thinking more like a 6.
6?
6.5.
Let's do a 6, actually.
A 6?
Yeah, I got a decent chuckle, but not like like world ending.
Yep, and then we have that -3 on there.
That's a
Bring
10.
them down.
Unfortunate.
Gotta get your memes in on time. Flip Moto is going to round us out today, and this is...
Rolling.
That is a weird run from Steven Seagal.
Yeah, that's just how he runs.
Again, guys, I hammed it up for the scene. That is a crazy run from him, though. This, what is this? Look at him.
That's like what you make fun of, like, in... Too weird, bro. Please run faster. Bringing back the old...
the classic meme.
Yep.
Too slow, bro. I don't like. Please ride fast, bro. Ride in 6 car. Yeah, again, I hammed it up for the scene. I don't actually run like that. I don't know of any human that would run like that.
Okay, aside from Steven Seagal.
Yeah, but literally, I was like trying to click my heels into my butt while I was running and flailing my arms as much as possible. Just so you guys know. All right, creativity. That was pretty good. He pulled some clips from other videos. I thought it was pretty funny. How about an 8?
An 8.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And funniness.
I thought it was pretty funny. 7.5.
A 7.5.
Yeah.
That's a 12.5.
Because that -3.
Flip Moto for the -3.
So we've got a tie for first place here today.
Yep, we
Between
have
Zintarian
and Dragon Cowboy.
Zintarian's on a cooldown, isn't he?
I believe he is. I need to check the spreadsheet.
Okay. Well, let's determine who first place is.
Just in case. So, Zintarian, we'll start with Dragon Cowboy, which was this meme right here. Any day.
This one's super good.
Yeah.
This meme is exceptional.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah. I just love that clip. And then Zintarian was the one where
Zintarian was
the Monster Energy, and then like I went off.
Yeah.
Cocaine!
This one was high effort in a different way.
Yeah. It's more of an interesting narrative and all of that.
Yeah.
I feel like Dragon Cowboy's got me better, you know?
I think so too.
I think that was the one.
Yeah,
I think that's first place, yeah.
Feels more
right.
Yeah. So we'll give I'm not gonna use that key. First place to Dragon Cowboy, potential second to Zintarian.
In case he's on a cooldown.
Germany
2 Boy with the podium today with third place.
But he's definitely on cooldown.
Yeah.
So then that next would go to Driftin' Fish. Also might be on a cooldown. We got a lot of guys who might. We got some maybes and mights, so we might be going deep into the field.
We're getting to the point now with the cooldowns that it's like as long as you participate in the meme contest, you have like a coin flip of winning.
So our current first, second, and third, I might need to move down the list.
Yeah.
First goes to Dragon Cowboy, second to Zintarian, and third to Driftin' Fish.
Well, there we go, folks. That was this week's meme contest of me running. Remember, if you want to join up and make these memes for us, hang out with us on the Discord, have a bunch of fun with us, go to yammie.co, and we'll catch you on the next Yamcast. See you later. So, I hate to break it to you, but this video is actually over. But if you hit this one right over here, you can keep watching your sweet Papa Yam doing some fun stuff. And if for nothing else, do it for Yammie-chan. Don't worry, I'll wait. I'll just wait. It's okay. Take your time.